SABC News reporter Canny Maphanga is at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry and joins us live from Pretoria with the very latest. Good afternoon, Canny. So General Dumisani Khumalo has covered more ground today, detailing events leading up to the Cat Matlala missing Rolex case and then going on to detail the reaction of some of the PKTT members post the announcement of the disbandment. Just take us through some of what the Commission has heard thus far.
We have seen a large part of the evidence this morning that has been led by the intelligence head and of course the project manager of the PKTT, that is Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, is still in the realm of the corroborative evidence. A lot of this you've heard before from the detectives on the ground about the efforts to derail the investigations into these alleged cartel members. Then of course, I guess, get at the work of the PKTT through Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, who was the project lead at the time, which explains the allegations surrounding how he caught some of those charges, and of course the PKTT was accused of untoward behavior in their investigations of alleged cartel members, that is Vusimuzi Cat Matlala and of course Katiso KT Molefe. Now this is the evidence and the vantage point of Vusimuzi Cat Matlala, which we've already heard before the Commission regarding the I guess the fake case that had been opened to implicate the PKTT in some form of wrongdoing when they conducted that search and seizure at his home, or they had approached his home regarding the possible whereabouts of Jerry Boshoga. Now we know already that in widely reported media reports that the former Minister General Bheki has addressed this issue, that he did meet with Vusimuzi Cat Matlala and of course advised him that it's not good to open false cases against the police. But we're hearing it from the first time for the vantage point of Khumalo as to what happened in those alleged interferences or those alleged attempts to derail the investigations that were taking place, and one of which is this instance where there was a false case opened to derail the work of the PKTT and of course cast aspersions and some of the important investigations that were undertaking that directly affected these I guess alleged cartel members, that is Vusimuzi Cat Matlala and of course Katiso KT Molefe. Moving from that evidence, Fundo, the important aspect that we're seeing for the first time is this issue of the Interministerial Committee. We have not seen the minutes before because we understand that they were classified, and of course the Commission has been able to get hold of those IMC minute meetings regarding the PKTT and its work that it was undertaking. Of course, there was the initial team, and then of course the genesis of the Political Killings Task Team when it was found that more work needed to be done to address this prevailing issue of the Political Killings Task Team in light of the fact that the elections were approaching. The exercise that is being conducted by filling out, or rather putting those IMC minutes meetings projected before the Commission, of course giving that the information, is to give this background and history that at no point was there ever any inclination or concern about the PKTT. In fact, in each financial year, the resolution that was reached was that the PKTT's work must continue. So this runs contrary to the evidence that we've heard before, that Nkunu alleged that the PKTT's work was no longer valuable in the country's landscape when that letter was given on the 31st of December. And of course, in the corroborative evidence, we're seeing that Khumalo again is stating that as the project lead, we already know that, Fundo, a lot of these role players, key role players in these Political Killings Task Team were not informed. They all learnt on social media regarding the disbandment, or the disbandment letter, if we could put it that way. But as the project lead, Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo also didn't know anything about the disbandment until it was formally placed before him on the 14th of January 2025, not by the Minister, Police Minister Senzim Khunu, but by the National Commissioner, General Fani Masomola, who had returned from leave himself and did not know about it, and now was informing Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo about it. We've seen the Commission banter about the process, the correct process that should have been followed, whether Khunu was in the position to take such a decision, and if those minutes that had been placed before, the information that we learned from those minutes was even considered. And I think the suggestion here is that that information that was brought out through the IMC minutes meeting and the extent to which this PKTT was needed and the resolutions pointing to the fact that they were going to continue in each financial year with their work, none of that was considered. And the conclusion that Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo reaches is that this was a fast-tracked decision in order to shield those alleged criminal cartels that they were closing in on and investigating quite extensively in their probes into the alleged criminal cartels operating within the Gauteng province.